How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another Avengers video. So the Marvel's Avengers game is finally out if you guys decided to get the deluxe edition, and I have played this game for probably about 16 to 17 hours so far. So I wanted to give you guys my first impressions. This is not a full review of the game yet because there's still a lot that I have to do, and there's still a lot more coming to the game here in the near future, and there's going to be a ton of new content coming. So I want to give a full review once I get to experience everything in the game. Now, I have beaten the story mode, and I'm to the point now where I'm just doing like all the Warzone missions after the fact, and I'm trying to level up my characters and stuff. So I have a pretty good idea of like if the game's good, if the game's worth it and stuff. So if you guys are on the fence about this game, I think this video will help you out, but I will have a full review as I play more of the game. Alright, so there's a lot to unpack here. I mean, I had a ton of questions going into this game, like how's the microtransactions going to be? Are they going to fix a lot of the problems from the beta, etc, etc. And I gotta say, this game is a lot of fun. I've been having a blast. I love that there's a bunch of different upgrades and stuff you can do for your heroes. There is a lot more to do in the full game than what you could do in the beta. There's like tons of different outfits per character. There's 3 pages of skills that you can use per character. I mean, there's just a lot that there's going to be to just unlock and to grind for. So that's good. I like that there's a lot of content. There's things to do. There's a lot of Warzone missions that you can play with your friends, or if you want, you can just focus on the story. And to talk about the story was actually a lot of fun. It's pretty short. It feels rushed in some places. I honestly wish that the story was a lot longer than what it was. And the story performed best when it did its own thing. The story mode is like a mixture of the Warzone missions mixed in with set story missions that are their own unique thing, and I think the story is at its best when it sort of goes away from those Warzone missions. There are some really epic parts of the campaign. The final mission alone was like insanely epic. Right when you think that it can't get any more epic, it gets more epic. And I mean, the finale of the campaign, I mean, it was pretty good. I was actually engrossed in the story. I wanted to learn more about the characters, and I actually had interest in the villain. Now, there is some pretty cringy dialogue in it. There is some fluff they added which didn't seem necessary at some points. But overall, when it comes to the story, I enjoyed it. I think if you're a Marvel fan, you will probably also enjoy it. It's not perfect by any means, but if I had to rank the story itself based off a scale 1 to 10, I'd probably give it maybe a 7 on just how fun it is and how much I enjoyed the story. But like I said, it is pretty short, but that's probably because of how much other content that they have for you in the game. And it honestly did feel like it was its own separate entity, because the story missions play a lot differently than the Warzone missions. Like, honestly, some of the story missions feel like something you would see in like Arkham Knight or the Spider-Man game on PlayStation 4. So I do recommend the story mode. I think it's a lot of fun. And as for the gameplay, I think the gameplay in general is a lot of fun. I had fun in the beta. I like all the different combos you can do. There's a bunch of different moves. You can upgrade pretty much everything. There's a lot of stuff that you can upgrade, and I've not even really scratched the surface when it comes to upgrades for some of my characters. I can already tell that it's going to get just more and more fun the more upgrades you get. So I'm to the point now where I just need to grind to upgrade my characters, and I can't wait till they like release raids and giant boss fights and stuff. I think that's going to be so unbelievably cool to do that with your friends. But, and I mean there's a huge but, this game was rushed. There's no other way to put it. This game is a complete buggy disaster. And I know people are going to get angry at me saying that because there's always those diehard fanboys that will defend a game no matter what happens. But this game, I'm not exaggerating, it is a broken mess. It has so many glitches. There's honestly more glitches in the game than there was in the beta. And I thought the beta was buggy, and everyone defended the beta saying, oh, the beta is just an old build, it'll be better in the final product. There are so many glitches in this game, and normally I'll give glitches a pass as long as it doesn't actually interfere with the gameplay and stop me from completing missions and stuff. Then I'm okay with some like graphical issues. But this game just has so many performance issues, graphical issues, and straight up glitches that stop you from playing the game physically, that it's hard for me to recommend, and it does take away from the overall score of the game. I mean, it's bad. 100% without a doubt, I think that there was a deadline that they had to get this game out by, and it was completely rushed. This is not a finished product. It should have been delayed easily, which that's not a bad thing. I would have been perfectly fine if the game got delayed, but my God, some places during this game, I feel like I'm playing an Xbox 360 game. Just small things like when you go to preview character skins, it doesn't even load the skins sometimes. Like when you go to preview emotes or skins or just different cosmetics, it won't even show you the preview. It can't load it into the game. There's constant frame rate issues. Some of the frame rate issues are so bad, it will completely freeze your console. It froze mine twice in about the span of 8 or so hours. I had a glitch when I was looking at some of the different skins for Kamala. I went to preview the skin and it just made Kamala turn invisible. So when I went back into the gameplay, I didn't even have a character model. And then literally 5 seconds later, I got into a cutscene which fixed the invisible problem. But then she didn't have any hair, so I was running around with a buzz cut Kamala. So I went from one bad glitch to another bad glitch. And then the cutscenes, oh man, the cutscenes are so broken. The cutscenes, it feels like they didn't even watch the cutscenes. It feels like they made the cutscene and then just shipped it off to the next phase without even doing touch-ups on the cutscenes. And if you don't believe me, here, watch this cutscene.
We planned on interrupting the AIM experience, showing the world what Tarleton was up to. These adaptoids of his, they harvest their powers through the torture of these Inhumans.
They expose them to near lethal amounts of dark terrigen.
Yeah, and that is only step one. Georgie boy is gearing up for a war.
Yeah, that was pretty freaking horrible, wasn't it? And, not to mention, when I got later in the story, one of the final cutscenes in the game, which I can't show you because it's got some spoilers in it for like the main story, I couldn't even tell what was happening in the cutscene because all of the characters were invisible and their eyeballs were floating. So I was watching a screen where the background wasn't loaded in and all the characters were just floating eyeballs. I had no idea what was going on. So for one of the final cutscenes of the game, I don't even know what happened. So that kind of sucks. This game cannot handle hair at all. If there's a cutscene with hair in it, there's just tons of issues. Now, I don't know if it will play better on next generation consoles. I don't know if it'll play better on PC, but my God, if you have the base model PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, which I'm sure most of the majority of people probably do, you're going to have some problems. And anybody that screams, oh, I didn't have these problems, they haven't played the game or they're just lying. There is no way. And I am not exaggerating in the slightest when I say you can't go 5 minutes. It's probably 5 minutes or less is how often you will find glitches in this game. Well, you cannot go 5 minutes without finding some sort of frame per second loss or character models not showing up. Sometimes when you switch outfits, they just don't load correctly and part of the outfit will be missing. I mean, man, it hurts me to say this, but I mean, I really wanted this game to do well. I was really excited after playing this game's beta. Jeez, I mean, if you guys are turned off by glitches, I would honestly probably wait like a month or so or longer for them to have like a couple fixes. I guarantee that the reviews and the backlash from the community after seeing the state of this game, they're going to have to take a step back from adding all this extra content and they're going to have to do some sort of like major overhaul to try to squash a lot of these bugs. And some of these examples that I showed you guys was just a few of the examples. I mean, there's like hundreds of different examples that I wish I would have recorded for you guys. But now that I talked about the glitches, I kind of want to talk about the next big issue, which is the microtransactions. And going into this, if you guys saw my video a couple days ago, I was on the fence about microtransactions. A lot of people were giving me a ton of hate about me not liking the marketplace in this game. But so far, based on what I can see, they do have a lot of options of skins that you can unlock just by playing the game. And hell, most of the skins that I like the most, you can unlock just by playing the game. You don't even have to buy them. A lot of the legendary skins that you see in the marketplace, I'm not even that big of a fan of. And there is a rotating vendor that you can use in-game currency for to unlock some of the legendary skins, but the grind, I can already tell you, is going to take forever. If you want to grind and manually get stuff, it's way too much. Like I said, I've played this game for a good like 16 or so hours. I've looted every chest I've come across, and I've collected the in-game currency for 16 hours worth of gameplay, and I only have like 3,000 some of the in-game currency. currency, and it takes 7,000 of the in-game currency to get one legendary skin. Emotes can vary from like 2,500 of the in-game currency to like 5,000. Basically what I'm trying to say is that if you want to play the game and unlock stuff, it is going to take you forever. Same with the challenge cards. The challenge cards take way too long to level up. There needs to be a fine balance between, you know, playing the game and unlocking stuff and it not being too easy or too hard. And right now it's leaning way towards too hard. It's going to take way too long. Like, I've got some of my characters leveled up into the 20s and I've only gotten to like level 2 out of 40 on their challenge cards. So for you to level up a challenge card for one of your heroes, you're going to have to do the daily and weekly challenges for that hero every single day for basically forever. You can tell that when it comes to the store and the microtransactions, they really amped the grind up to 11 to make you want to spend real life money, which is a bit of a drag. So you do have the option, if you want to, you can grind it out for some of those skins. You don't have to spend any money, but do know you are going to be playing this game a lot. Now, as of recording this video, there is no like big raids or boss fights or anything. I don't know if the rewards for like completing a big raid event with your friends is going to get you some of that in-game currency. If it does, then that will take away some of the grind and that'll make it probably worth it. But as of this point, the grind is insanely real. It's going to be a bit of a struggle, but I do want you guys to be aware of that. So I've gone back a little bit on my opinions of the marketplace. It's not as greedy in terms of like all the cool skins being locked behind a paywall. You can earn most of them in game. So I think that covers most of the things I wanted to talk about in my first impressions. I'll work on grinding out a lot of stuff over the next couple days to try to get a full review, and I'll let you guys know if my opinion changes on anything in my final review. But yeah, those are my major concerns so far. Do I think the game's good? Would I recommend it? If you're a Marvel fan, you may be able to look past some of the glitches. I'd maybe wait a little bit. I wouldn't go rushing into it. Based off of the state right now, if it didn't have any of the performance issues, I'd be sitting at like an 8 out of 10. I think it's pretty fun. I mean, I would recommend it. But there's so many performance issues and the grind is going to be a bit tedious. That puts me down to like a 6. I mean, those performance issues are so bad. The crashing, the glitches, the cutscenes not working. That takes me clear down to about a 6. But those are my thoughts on Avengers so far. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. I hope this video was able to help you guys out. And I will be covering a lot more Avengers. So if you guys like Avengers, then hit that subscribe button and hit that bell for notifications. And that is going to do it for me, guys. And I will talk to you all in the next video.